The year is 2020. The world has shut down. Banks are closed. Offices are empty. But on the internet, something extraordinary is happening. $1 trillion worth of financial infrastructure is being rebuilt from scratch. No banks, no governments, no middlemen. Just code. This is the story of decentralized finance, and it is just getting started. Chapter 1. What is DeFi? DeFi, short for decentralized finance, is the attempt to rebuild every financial service you use today on a public blockchain. Borrowing, lending, trading, earning interest, sending money across borders, insurance, derivatives, all of it without a single bank account required. The idea sounds radical, but the math behind it is surprisingly straightforward. Traditional finance runs on trust. We trust that the bank will honor our deposits. We trust that a broker will execute our trade fairly. We trust that the government won't suddenly freeze our accounts. This trust has been earned over centuries, but it has also been broken. The 2008 financial crisis showed what happens when institutions fail. Billions in taxpayer money bailed out the very banks that had gambled with their customers' money. DeFi asks a different question. What if you didn't need to trust anyone? DeFi replaces institutional trust with mathematical certainty. Instead of trusting a person or a company, you trust code that runs exactly as written, every time, without exception. Code that cannot be bribed, cannot be pressured, cannot be shut down by a regulator. This is the foundational promise of DeFi, and it is the reason billions of people across the world are paying attention. Chapter 2. The engine, smart contracts. To understand how DeFi actually works, you need to understand the technology at its heart. Smart contracts. A smart contract is a program that lives on a blockchain. It holds funds, it enforces rules, and it executes automatically when specific conditions are met, with no human in the loop. Think of a vending machine. You put in $1, you press the button for your snack, you get your snack. No cashier needed, no trust required. The machine executes exactly as programmed. Smart contracts work the same way, but instead of dispensing snacks, they handle hundreds of millions of dollars in financial transactions, every day, automatically. Ethereum was the first blockchain to make smart contracts practical at scale. Its creator, Vitalik Buterin, published the Ethereum white paper in 2013 when he was just 19 years old. His core insight was elegant. What if a blockchain could run any program, not just transfer money, but execute arbitrary logic? Bitcoin was designed to do one thing well: transfer value. Ethereum was designed to be programmable, a world computer. That insight opened the door to an entirely new class of financial applications. Applications that no single company controls. Applications that anyone in the world can use, examine, and build on top of. What Ethereum introduced was not just a new currency, it was a new operating system for finance. Chapter 3. The major protocols. By 2020, a handful of protocols had emerged that would define what decentralized finance means in practice. The first is Uniswap, a decentralized exchange that works like no exchange before it. Traditional exchanges match buyers with sellers through an order book. Uniswap eliminated the order book entirely. Instead, it uses a mathematical formula, X times Y equals K, to price assets from a shared pool of liquidity. Anyone can trade against this pool. Anyone can deposit funds into the pool as a liquidity provider and earn a share of trading fees. There is no company running Uniswap, no CEO, no customer support phone number, just code and mathematics. By mid-2021, Uniswap was regularly processing more daily trading volume than Coinbase, a publicly listed company with hundreds of employees. Then there is Aave, a lending and borrowing protocol. On Aave, you can deposit your crypto assets as collateral and borrow different assets against them. You can also deposit your idle crypto and earn real yield, interest paid by borrowers, set automatically by the protocol based on supply and demand. No loan application, no credit check, no waiting for approval. If you have collateral, you can borrow instantly. Aave pioneered something called flash loans, uncollateralized loans that must be repaid within a single block, opening up arbitrage strategies that were previously impossible. And Compound, which introduced the concept that would ignite DeFi summer. Users who supplied or borrowed assets on Compound began receiving governance tokens, effectively shares in the protocol itself. This innovation created an explosive feedback loop. More users earned tokens. Tokens gave users voting power. Users with voting power directed more rewards. Billions of dollars flooded into the ecosystem in weeks. At the peak of DeFi summer 2020, the total value locked across DeFi protocols crossed $1 billion for the first time. Within a year, it would exceed $100 billion. Chapter 4: The Real Risks. But DeFi is not without its dangers, and anyone entering this space without understanding the risks is walking into a minefield. Smart contracts can have bugs. Audits help, but they are not perfect. In 2016, just a year after Ethereum launched, a vulnerability in a smart contract called the DAO allowed an attacker to drain $50 million from the fund. The community was forced into an agonizing choice: honor the immutability of the code, or roll back the blockchain to recover the funds. Splitting Ethereum into two chains, Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, a schism the community still feels today. Flash loan attacks have become increasingly sophisticated. An attacker borrows hundreds of millions of dollars with no collateral, manipulates prices across multiple protocols in a single transaction, repays the loan, and pockets millions in profit, all in under 13 seconds. Rug pulls are perhaps the most common hazard. A developer creates a new protocol, generates hype on social media, attracts investor funds, and then pulls the liquidity and disappears, often within hours. In 2021, rug pulls accounted for 99% of all crypto fraud by number of incidents. There is no FDIC here, no deposit insurance, no mechanism to recover funds, and the regulatory landscape is shifting fast. The SEC has sued major crypto exchanges. OFAC has sanctioned smart contract addresses. Some governments are moving to require KYC, know your customer verification, even for decentralized protocols. The regulatory picture remains deeply uncertain. What is clear is this: DeFi is powerful, it's also dangerous. The combination of open code, composability, and pseudonymity creates opportunities for innovation and opportunities for exploitation. Caveat emptor: let the buyer beware. Chapter 5: The Future of DeFi. Despite the risks, the pace of innovation has not slowed. If anything, it has accelerated. The biggest barrier to DeFi adoption had always been fees. At peak congestion on Ethereum, a simple token swap could cost $50 to $100 in gas. That made DeFi financially inaccessible to most people. Layer 2 networks solve this problem. Arbitrum, Optimism, and Base are networks that process transactions off the main Ethereum chain, then settle them in batches. The result: transaction fees measured in fractions of a cent instead of tens of dollars. The volume of activity on Layer 2 networks now regularly exceeds the Ethereum main chain. Real-world assets are coming on-chain with serious institutional backing. BlackRock, managing $10 trillion in assets, launched a tokenized money market fund on Ethereum in early 2024. Within months, it had attracted over $500 million. JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and Fidelity all have tokenization initiatives in various stages. The convergence of DeFi infrastructure and traditional finance capital is accelerating. Cross-chain bridges are maturing, allowing assets to flow between different blockchains more safely than before. Decentralized stablecoins are gaining traction. Decentralized identity solutions are emerging, allowing users to prove credentials without revealing personal data. The vision of a fully interoperable, permissionless, global financial system is no longer theoretical. It's being built, protocol by protocol, block by block. The question is not whether decentralized finance will reshape the global financial system. The question is how completely and how quickly. Subscribe to Crypto Compass. Every week, we go deep on the stories and technologies shaping the future of money. If this video clarified something for you or raised more questions, drop a comment below. Hit subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we will see you in the next deep dive.